Seahawks Stadium in a game that the Trojans won, I believe. So, Cody, you were on that team. You just didn't play?
Yeah, that was when Matt Barkley was a starter. We did play at Washington State, but obviously not quite Husky Stadium. But, yeah, I never got a chance to play there. And when we did play, it was at the Seahawks Stadium, which was still a great atmosphere. All the football up there is so cool.
Nice.
It always feels like it's that fall weather when you're up there. Now, I'm not a big fan of the rain, so I could do without that. But, yeah, it was a really cool setting to get to play up there.
It doesn't appear like it's going to rain. It actually does appear like it's going to rain. The general look around here is it looks like it's always going to rain, but it does not appear to be raining at the moment, and I think we might be okay. We'll see and keep you abreast of that as the game goes along. But it's good football weather, and we should have a good football game today. Two teams that are very similar. USC coming in off a get-right win over Rutgers. And the story of the week going into that one, Sean, was Miller Moss's job being maybe publicly under a little fire. I don't know internally, how much, they were, how close they were to making a change there. But it really does feel like his team going forward here in the final month. He responded with 308 passing yards, had 3 touchdowns, one of which was rushing. I think solidified his position and going into the rest of the way. I'd be surprised unless there's a health reason if there was a change.
Yeah, we talked about it a bunch. Obviously, probably his worst game of the year against Maryland. So a lot of buzz around maybe they making a change at that time of year, especially coming off a 3-game losing streak, but able to pull it back together last week. Miller did a great job managing it. No costly turnovers and taking care of the ball. 2 touchdowns, like you said, and being very efficient. So yeah, it looked like the old football leader out there, Miller Moss, was back out there and making the right plays.
Cody, how'd you assess his performance?
Yeah, I thought it was his most complete game of the year, and I talked to Coach Riley about this on Trojans Live. He just, like Sean said, he did a great job protecting the football, didn't put the team in bad situations, didn't have any turnover-worthy throws, did a great job of getting the ball to his playmakers in space and allowing them to do the rest. And we talked about on the pregame show for that game was, the best way that you build around a quarterback like Miller Moss is you get the playmakers around them and let them do the work, right? Get the football to them. You have to protect well. You have to run the football. One of the best games of the year of us being balanced, right? We threw it 28. We ran it 23. So that is the recipe for success for Miller Moss, and we got to build off of that today.
And in terms of the playmakers, Sua, Mekhi Lemon emerging as a potential number 1 target on this team. He has led the team in receiving for 3 consecutive weeks. What do you see from Mekhi in this current ascent?
An actual 5-star, living up to the 5-star billing. It's refreshing to see. And I feel like Mekhi has kind of been slept on since he got at USC. This is he's a true athlete. This is a guy who can play cornerback right now if we need him. We've got to beat up secondary somewhat. He can play corner. He showed that. But this is a guy, if you get him the ball and give him the opportunities, he will make the most out of it. And I'm glad that he's taking advantage of all of these opportunities.
It's funny you say that. You called him a true athlete. I think part of the reason he was slept on, Sean, in this recruiting process, he was always listed as an athlete, so he was never listed as a 5-star receiver. He was listed as a 5-star athlete, which is a designation that the recruiting services has put in, in the last, decade or something like that. So I'm not entirely sure. People knew they were getting a good football player in him. I don't know if they knew what he was, and I think we're just now finding out what he is.
Yeah, he's just getting into the mold, I think, of a wide receiver. Last year we saw him at defensive back. We saw him at cornerback warming up a couple times in a couple games for last year. And then last week we saw him in special teams. Got promoted to the kickoff return team, had a fantastic return, just breaking one off early in the return and making a play there. So, yeah, it looks like he really he's a football player. He knows how to play football. You've heard him say that. I think we had an interview with him, and he talked about, I just want to play football out there, and that's what you want out there. You want guys who are willing to do whatever it takes to win, and Mekhi, I think he's just kind of molding into that wide receiver, but this is a guy who's going to do anything to win for this team.
Cody, 18 catches in the last 3 weeks. What's it tell you about this offense that they're getting that much production out of that slot spot, or are they moving Mekhi around? What are you seeing?
I think we're just really trying to feed the hot hand right now, and like you said, he's had his best he's put together his best stretch of the season these last 3 games. He's been phenomenal. 25 receptions, 378 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the year overall. But the best thing for me is he's really become that explosive playmaker, right? We've really tried to find that in this offense. He's the only receiver averaging over 15 yards per catch. So it's been great, but I just really feel like Coach Riley understands that he has the hot hand right now. We've seen what he can do in space. It's not an accident that we put him on kickoff return because we understand the playmaker that he is, and we're doing the same thing with him on offense as well and getting him some of those crossing routes and those shorter routes so he can get the ball in his hand and make some plays down the field.
Sue, we talked a lot about hot hands and moving targets at receiver, but the running back position has been completely the opposite. Woody Marks has been the consistent force in this offense. You talked to Lincoln Riley. He's just a consistent personality. That continued again. He has 75-plus yards from scrimmage in every game. He had 48 yards receiving last week, which is a season high. He is just really across this team the one thing you can count on week to week.
He's the bell cow. He's one of the guys on the team I feel like you can confidently give him 30 touches, whether it's 20 carrying and 10 catches, and you can trust that he'll have around 150 yards of production on offense. That's just the type of player he is. We knew that. He was one of the leading receivers, I think, in Mississippi State history out of the backfield. He's just been a godsend for this offense, and when all else fails, we can hand it off to number 4, and he's going to pick up 5 tough yards. And I just love how smart he plays. He's a cerebral player, and he's a tough runner. I can tell defenses get tired trying to tackle him for all 4 quarters, and I think that's why as the game progresses, he just gets better and better because that high motor.
As soon as he came out with no gloves, I knew he was a dog. When you see a running back with no gloves on, you know he's gonna run you over. And
the guy that threw him all those passes at Mississippi State, that's Will Rogers. He's the Washington quarterback today. So it'll be Marks versus Rogers in a Mississippi State transfer showdown this evening in Seattle. All right, when we come back, it's time to talk some defense. Trojans were a little bit banged up last week, but got through it. Let's hear what the guys think. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Hey, Trojan fans. Celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. It's our way of saying thanks. 1 free donut per customer with digital coupon. Available the day after each Trojan victory while supplies last. Ralph's, fresh for everyone, and proud partner of USC Athletics. Fight on.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Trojan fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. But whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of the USC Trojans.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Ocean views, magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at Terranea.com. And when you've got good beer and good vibes, it's all bueno. Stone Buena Vesa Salt and Lime Lager is Baja-inspired, imported from San Diego, located near you at find.stonebrewing.com. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, and Sua Cravens with you on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. USC's defense, particularly in the secondary last week against Rutgers, was really undermanned. And so they gave up 313 yards passing, and there were certainly some opportunities out there for Rutgers in the aerial attack. But ultimately the Trojans did enough to help their offense and survive the week.
Yeah, Dymere Miller was a problem last week, but I think the key for slowing down that Rutgers offense was going after Kyle Monungai, and they eventually got him out of the game. Tackling him really well, I thought, all game. Yeah, he got some yards, but able to slow him down enough because that's really where their offense wanted to funnel through, and Trojans slowed down that side of the ball.
So I think reinforcements are hopefully coming this week, but given all the guys that got opportunities last week, who stood out to you in the secondary?
I wouldn't say there wasn't too many guys that stood out. I just like how all the youngins play. I just like disciplined, sound football. And you don't necessarily need to make splash plays to make a name for yourself. If you're just a guy that can be reliable and accounted for and accountable on defense and know your job, then that's all you really need to play really sound defense. So I feel like even though we lack the experience in the secondary because we rotate so many people, we don't necessarily have those bell cows at corner like an Adoree or Iman Marshall that we had at one point. A lot of the young guys surprisingly stepped up and played disciplined football, which was good to see.
Adoree played his greatest game probably as a Trojan in this building. I guess his greatest game was that Notre Dame game, but that was with the ball in his hand. He probably played his best game as a cornerback in this building when USC knocked off an undefeated Washington team. What was that, 2017? 2016. Cody, you kind of like Prophet Brown, right? Is that one that stands out for you?
Yeah, I think he's been a good player. And like Sua said, right, you just want to watch how these young guys play in the spotlight. When they have an extended role, you want to see what they're going to do. Now, he did give up some big plays. Don't get me wrong. He gave up back-to-back completions on that touchdown drive that Rutgers have. But you always want to look at a young guy, how he's going to respond. I thought he did a great job. He's not afraid to go out there and make some plays. He plays with a lot of emotion. It's almost good, too, as a young guy. You don't know what you don't know, right? You're going to go out there, and I gave a big play. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go out there and find a way, to get back into a rhythm. I thought he did just that, and he had some good guys around him to help him out. He had some good leaders in the back end, too. So, yeah, he's a guy I'm excited about who's going to continue to learn as he gets those reps, and I think he can be a very good player on this defense.
And the young pass rushers, Sean, kind of ended up being the story of the game for me, at least on the defensive side of the ball. We saw the emergence of Sam Green. We saw Cam Fountain. You like Devin Tompkins. These guys are starting to find their way into the backfield, and boy, do we need that.
Yeah, they did best pass rush game of the year so far, 4 sacks. I counted 5. I don't know what the final stat said on that one. I know we kind of got screwed on one of those, but Elijah Hughes, got a ton of reps out there. Braylon Shelby, Jade Abasari, Sam Green had some pass rush, but I think really two young guys who are starting to get it. It's starting to click for them. The pass rush is starting to come together. You can see their plans coming into work as they're rushing out there. Cam Fountain and Devin Tompkins, I think, are really getting it done in the pass rush stance right now. Probably your premier rushers right now as defensive linemen. And that's good when it's a youth movement in there because those guys are going to be here for a while, and they're going to be able to build on what they're starting here.
And so that is just so important to the development of this program.
Yeah, and we need that. And like Sean just said, I really liked watching Fountain on film. It's just, again, you don't need the explosive plays to really make a name for yourself. If you know how to watch film and you just see the in and out of each play in the trenches, he was using his hands. He was putting his nose in things and getting physical. And when winning that battle at the line of scrimmage, even if he didn't make the tackle, he had knockback. And it was good to see that from a youngin because you kind of have to teach these pups to get that mean side to him. But it seems like he came equipped with it already.
Sean, what's the hardest part about being a young defensive lineman? Is it the size and strength, and you're just not quite physically developed enough the way you'd want to? Is it the pass rushing technique? What don't they have now that they'll have 2 years from now?
Well, you're playing against offensive linemen there. You typically the older guys on the squad are offensive linemen, so you're going against mature guys when you first get in there, and the strength and the speed of it is a huge jump as far as coming from high school. But then the next step is the consistency, right? For me, it's the consistency portion of it, doing it down in and down out. Yeah, you can come out there maybe for a nice pass rush, or if you got a package for yourself. But it's the guys that excel that can do it down in, down out. You can leave a guy in from first down to third down, and he's playing winning football. So the consistency aspect is something these guys are learning, and you like to see it in these young guys because, like I said, Coach Henderson's going to get his hands on these guys, and they're going to continue to develop in those regions.
Cody, a word that has been talked about often with this USC football team is finish and the need to finish. And I think that's probably the thing I give the defense the biggest credit for last week. It wasn't looking great there for a little bit. They started getting carved up. It gets to 28-20, and then they end the game with 4 consecutive stops after that Rutgers touchdown. So, at least they finished off that game, let the offense separate a little bit and get some breathing room at the end.
Yeah, I mean, there were some drives where Rutgers got things rolling. But overall for me, because of the circumstances, I thought this was our most complete or dominant defensive performance of the year. And if you look at the numbers, Rutgers ran 89 plays in that football game. They controlled the clock. They had the ball for 36 minutes of time of possession to our 23. With a depleted defense, with all the injuries we had, that is a recipe for disaster. It could have went a completely different way on Friday night, but they came together. They played well. They played the definition of bend, don't break. If you look at some of the Rutgers drives, they had a 12-play drive, finished with a field goal, an 8-play drive, turnover on down, 16-play drive before the half. held them to a field goal, then a 15-play drive, turnover on downs, and a 13-play drive, turnover on downs. That is the definition of bend, don't break. When you're out there for that many plays, and Sua and Sean will tell you, it is difficult to really get a stance and go down there, and after you've given up so many plays on a drive, to get things figured out. They had 22 third down attempts in this football game. So like I said, I think overall, because of the circumstances, this is one of our best defensive performances.
You can't help but be a quarterback.
When you look at 89 plays in a game, they ran the ball 42 times for only 121 yards with the depleted
that's great.
roster we had on defense. That's phenomenal football. I mean, they held them to under 3 yards per rush.
I thought the two biggest series were after they scored, after the Rutgers were able to score in the second half, the USC is able to, then Mekhi Lemon comes out and makes that huge play, gets us back on the board, gets us the stadium going again. The defense came out and go 2-3 and outs back-to-back. I thought those were two important drives for the year because we've seen too many times this year where that defense has kind of failed us in those aspects there. They were able to stand up, and you see some progress in that area.
All right, our offensive game plan is next. Cody Kessler talked to offensive line coach and offensive coordinator Josh Henson. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC! Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with the tax benefits of a retirement account. That's right, invest in crypto with the tax advantages of an IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit iTrustCapital.com/USC to start investing today. The official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Hi, it's Hannah, and welcome to the HannahCast. Today, Piggy Bank's gonna fuel our episode with questions about Arco rewards. Yep, earn up to $7 in rewards at sign up. And 5 cents on every gallon. Sounds pretty sensible, if you ask me. Oh, all this savings talk making you hungry? Here you go. Learn how to earn at arcorewards.com.
Offer valid until October 31st, 2024. By entering your phone number, you're agreeing to receive recurring automated informational and marketing SMS, MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Invesco QQQ is the official ETF partner of the USC Trojans. The future isn't scary. Not realizing its potential, however, could be. To build a championship team, you don't just look at what you've got. You have to realize the potential of each recruit, transfer, and prospect. Only by seeing the potential of one player do you make the team its strongest. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
No matter what you're looking for in a non-alcoholic beer, there's only one name that has it all. Athletic Brewing Co. Full flavor? It's athletic. Huge variety? It's athletic. Award-winning styles you can get online, at the bar, or the grocery store? It's athletic. In fact, when it comes to amazing non-alcoholic beer, there's no question. It's athletic. Ask for it and find out. Go to askforathletic.com to find your closest retailer today. Near beer.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Hey, Trojan fans. Celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. And how about Fruitist, our new sponsor? Get ready to fight on with Fruitist blueberries. Sweet, crunchy, and packed with goodness. They're the ultimate game day snack. Fruitist, the official superfood snack of USC Trojans, available in stores near you. It's a good, healthy snack, Sean.
Yeah,
maybe
blueberry, superfood.
Maybe work that into your snack list.
Superfood. What are you saying? My snack list is not healthy?
I'm guessing blueberries are not on it. If we're just a guess, a total guess.
Total guess, because you'd be totally wrong. Because I'm a big blueberry guy in my smoothie every day, Jordan.
Yeah, it's a game day snack.
I know we're playing the Huskies. Doesn't mean I'm husky.
You're just sitting there. Right. You're just sitting there crushing blueberries, watching football.
Yeah, of course. That's my healthy snack.
Back in Seattle, let's get to the offensive game plan now. Here is Josh Henson and Cody Kessler.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by DirecTV.
Stream the Trojans all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish.
What's up, Trojan fans? Cody Kessler here for your offensive game plan, and I'm joined by offensive coordinator and offensive line coach Josh Henson. Coach, how's it going?
It's going great, Cody. How are you?
I'm doing good. Coach, some growing pains early on this season up front, but this offensive line has really continued to get better each week. What's been the message to your group throughout the season so far?
Well, improvement in offensive line is always about doing little things right. It's details, it's fundamentals, it's inches, and it sounds cliche, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's my hands are 2 inches further outside, inside, and that's what wins and loses blocks. Then conversely, it's what makes plays go, and then that's what wins and loses games. And so I have been proud of the guys. you're never a finished product anytime. You're always working in football to get better every day that you're out there practicing. But we've improved as a season gone along. I think our confidence has improved. I think our belief in what we're doing has improved, and we're just playing better technique, and and therefore we're executing better as an offense.
Coach, a couple young guys that have had to grow up pretty quickly this year are Elijah Page and Alani Noah. What have you seen from them in their development this season as they continue to gain experience?
Well, I think one thing when you're young is you don't know what you don't know, and you're kind of scared of that at first, and it makes you a little timid and maybe makes you hesitate somewhat. I think the hesitation is out of their game, and once that hesitation leaves, you can start then really starting to focus on your technique and focus on your effort within your technique in the offensive line and playing with strain and those kind of things. And so, they're getting really comfortable with assignments and with adjustments and in-game adjustments. And, okay, well, this is my guy. Oh, there's a twist. Now that's my guy, And at first, I think some of those things were just causing them to hesitate a little, like it does all young guys. But just growing up, experience, reps, and confidence. And so I've been really pleased with where they're at so far. Definitely not finished products. They're going to get better every year that they're here. But for redshirt freshmen, they've had a good season so far.
Talking with offensive coordinator Josh Henson. Coach, last one for me. This Washington defense is one of the best in the country under Steve Belichick. A lot of exotic looks, especially on third down. What's the message to your group this week as they get ready for a tough road test on Saturday?
Well, on the road, in a hostile environment, communication is key. The last time or the first time this year that we faced this at Michigan, we didn't handle it very well up front, and it cost us several quarterback hits and sacks, and it was just a communication thing up front. One sideline thing, we're going one way, one the other, and kind of like how that cannot happen. So we've gotten way better at that as the years gone along, but anytime you're in a hostile environment, communicating is key. And then the second thing is, just the repetition of their looks, which we've been doing in practice. But, yes, they are multiple, and so it's using your rules and being comfortable, making sure everybody's on the same page, setting the protection, setting the run blocking scheme, and then progressing with that and trusting where your guys set it. So, fortunately, we have a really, really smart guy that plays center. He does great at getting us in the right schemes and in the right protections. And so we just got to go execute.
Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck on Saturday. For Coach Henson, I'm Cody Kessler, and this has been your Offensive Game Plan. Fight on.
Offensive line, definitely an area where the Trojans have gotten better and better as the season has gone on. They'll need to be good here today. This is a tough crowd noise stadium, always known to be difficult on the road team. Who is our best offensive lineman, Sean? We never talk about offensive linemen as individuals, so I just want to talk individually in this segment.
It's a group collective, but our best guy is Emmanuel Pregnon to me. When you watch him on film, he's physical. He's been great this year. You look at his PFF grades; they've been good all year. He seems to just he understands the position of guard. You got to help the center out a little bit. You got to help the tackle out a little bit. He's physical. I just like the way he plays. He seems confident out there and one of the leaders right there for the group.
Suey, you agree?
No, I'm going to disagree with Sean. No surprise here, but I like Monheim. I think Monheim is our Swiss Army knife. I think he's the one guy on the O-line that if anybody else were to get hurt and we need a staple, you can put Monheim in that position and he can do it and still get everybody else lined up. You just need a bell cow at all levels of offense and defense, and he seems to serve all purposes if we need him to.
Cody, break the tie.
Yeah, I'm the tiebreaker. I mean, you can go either way with this one. I think they're both correct. I'm going to go with Jonah Monheim as well, though. I think he's been great this year. Really been solid, too, in the Big Ten. And when we do the Victory podcast on our preview show, we talk about those type of interior defensive linemen that he faces on a week-to-week basis. And I know that Noah and Pregnon face him as well, playing at that guard position. But there's some mean zero technique, some nose tackle in this conference. I thought he's done a good job handling that all year.
Oh, so you're going to go side with the guys who don't play in the trenches, huh, Jordan?
I
also play quarterback, so I got to give love to the centers.
I'm just here to count the votes. Cody, do you think Jonah's a center in the NFL?
I remember we talked about this off camera, I think, last week. I think his versatility helps him a ton. I don't know quite where he's going to play at. I mean, he could play center because of the reps he's getting this year. I think, like you said, maybe playing a little bit of guard tackle is not completely out of the question, but I do think the more reps that he's gotten interior, that's where he's going to be. I think he's going to be a day 2 pick in the NFL potentially, and I'm biased, maybe a day 1 pick if he has a great, combine and pre-draft process. But overall, he's going to absolutely get an opportunity at the NFL at any level or at any position because of his versatility.
Pregnon a pro, Sean?
Oh, yeah. I think he'll be a pro. You can see what type of player like he is. You'll see him in the NFL. He'll probably stick around 10, 12 years in the NFL, find a nice play because he's definitely got other tools.
All right, guys, we're going to take another break. When we come back, Sean talked to our old friend Taylor Mays. He knows a little something about this Seattle area. This is this week's defensive game plan is coming up. This Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
When you've got good beer and good vibes, it's all Buena. Introducing Stone Buenavesa Salt and Lime Lager. Brewed with real lime and a touch of sea salt, this insanely refreshing Baja-inspired lager is perfect for celebrating the good life with good people. Imported from San Diego to wherever you are, in 6-packs, 12-packs, and on draft. Find Buenavesa near you using the beer finder at find.stonebrewing.com and show how you live Buena on Instagram at LiveBuena.
USC Trojan fans, SmartStop Self-Storage is ready for game day. SmartStop Self-Storage is committed to making the self-storage experience easy and hassle-free for all Trojan fans. Whether you're storing your Trojans tailgate gear, need temporary storage while moving to a new home, or need a storage solution for your business, we're here for you with convenient locations throughout Southern California. SmartStop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. Fight on. Fight on.
We are Life Law, where we make injury law simple. We have 2 simple goals for all of our clients: full medical recovery and ultimately full monetary compensation. We understand that it can be overwhelming to face the uncertainty in the wake of an accident. We will be there with you at each step in the legal and healthcare process. You will pay nothing unless we win your case. Dial 1-800-LYFE-LAW or check us out at lyfe.com. Life Law, official sponsors of USC Athletics.
At Audi, expectations matter. It's why what's standard on every Audi SUV are features that exceed yours. How we get there matters. The Audi family of SUVs. Progress you can feel.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your Southern California Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit SoCalAudiDealers.com for more information. You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your Southern California Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit SoCalAudiDealers.com for more information. Want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans? Be sure to sign up for the 3 Torches. It's presented by Smart & Final. It's a free newsletter that hits your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to USCTrojans.com/3 Torches and sign up. Back in Seattle, before we get to the defensive game plan, Sean wants to send us to a station ID. Can you do it, Sean?
I can do it. Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves here on the ESPN LA USC Trojans Media Network.
Hey, it's Mace, and this is USC football back where it belongs on 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a good Karma Brands radio station. Fight on!
And now, Trojan legends Sean Cody and Taylor Mays with this week's defensive game plan.
The USC Trojans defensive game plan is brought to you by Life Law.
Injury law made simple.
I'm here for the defensive game plan with assistant defensive backs coach Taylor Mays. Coach, big win last week. A lot of young guys. We got to see some new faces on the back end there. How did they perform back there?
Sean, it was a great week last week. Like you said, we had some guys that were out with injuries. Some other young guys got a chance to play. It was awesome to see them get a chance to play. Some guys who have done really some good things and just haven't gotten a chance to show it yet. So for them to be able to get out there and play in the game and play well and win, especially after the last couple of weeks, it was awesome.
Obviously, you don't want to talk about injuries and stuff, but moving forward as the season goes along, who do you expect to kind of, pick up the slack for any injuries, or if guys are bouncing back, what do you think that room's going to look like, and who's going to be out in the field?
Well, I think one of the greatest things about the room is the depth of the room. So, like, even a guy like Bryson Shaw, who's played a lot of football, who's started a lot of football games, Zion Branch, who's been in college football, who's played actually a fair amount already and already has a lot of experience. Christian Pierce is a heck of a defensive football player, a heck of a safety. And then you look at, like, John Humphrey and DeCarlos Nicholson. Those are guys who have played. Yeah. So that's kind of the strength of the room, is that even if some guys are out, you still have guys who have played in big games, They don't freeze under pressure. And that's kind of one of our strengths going forward, is just being able to have fresh bodies all the time who can play fast.
A little bit over the halfway point through the season. How would you rate your group, and how have they done so far?
I think they've played as well as anybody at times. I think they've played as well as anybody in the country at times. I think it's just a consistency. And you can see, like, D-line, the big guys can make a mistake. The linebackers can make a mistake. If you make a mistake in the secondary, it's critical, and you can lose a game on it. And I think our guys understand that. You just have to be able to go out and execute and understand that. You know, when we make a mistake, it's critical. It could be a critical error in the game. And so we're just continuing to improve and try to play, you know, a flawless game where we're not making any of those mistakes. We're playing at that elite level all the time.
Another road opportunity come up here in Washington, your former stomping grounds. What's it going to take for the Trojans on defense to get it done this week against the Huskies?
I think it's kind of what we're talking about. You know, we going on the road, loud environment up there in Seattle, being able to communicate and being able to execute and not make any mistakes. You know, we like to say, make them beat you, don't beat yourself. So no alignment issues, no communication issues. Our guys just doing their jobs and playing top down, and then you got to tackle. If you can tackle, if you can limit the big plays, limit the explosive plays, you always give yourself a chance, and you put yourself in a position to be able to make plays on the ball. I like our chances.
Coach, obviously a big week, not just with football, but baseball, World Series in town. You know, there's been a lot of comparisons with you and Juan Soto. Would you like to address the Juan Soto comparisons? Obviously, two handsome men.
Very.
What do you take from those people within those comparisons?
So I'll tell you this: when Juan Soto was a free agent, maybe during the summer, there was talk about him coming to LA. And people asked me probably a dozen times if I was Juan Soto, to the point where I was going to go to the bank and say that I forgot my ID and see if they let me make a cash withdrawal. So, no, it's funny because I look at the photo and I'm like, yeah, I get it. They're just making a joke on me. Normally it's me making a joke on somebody else, but I can see it.
Yeah, well, congratulations on those wonderful appearances you have. And that's our defensive game plan with assistant defensive backs coach Taylor Mays. Go get him this week and fight on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Fight on, brother.
Juan Soto's going to get a $600 million contract. I give it a shot at the bank, too.
Man, that's a lot of money, but Taylor Mays, one of the best men to ever do it in a Trojan uniform, but he definitely does look like Juan Soto.
I have been with Taylor when a kid has come up and asked him for his autograph as Juan Soto, and then the kid refused to believe. He thought that he was lying to him in saying that he wasn't Juan Soto. So,
Jordan,
he gets it a lot. What you got?
Sticking on that, by the way, we kind of breezed over it. How's the Moore household right now with the Yankees?
Yankees went down.
How are we talking about Soto? How are we feeling? How's the Moore household right now?
Judge kind of laid an egg, didn't he?
I don't see that on my rundown, guys. Let's get back to the topics.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Shout out Jersey.
Sua health boost potentially in the secondary today. I'm not saying it was on purpose, but it does seem kind of like they rolled the dice a little bit. Kind of everyone sat out last week, and now you face this team with a top quarterback, elite receivers, and probably would be good to get back some guys today. Kamari Ramsey, Jalen Smith, Jacoby Covington, Greedy Vance, all listed as questionable on the injury report, which we'll get to with Keely in a little bit, but does seem like they're going to get some or all of those guys back.
Yeah, no, I think it was definitely chess, not checkers. I think the USC felt confident in resting those guys, getting them an extra, week of rest to make sure they can come back and play specifically in this game, because we're going to need all hands on deck. I don't care if they are questionable, if they have a Q by their name, just assume they're playing, because anybody that's a dog in the secondary wants this type of challenge against a quarterback that likes to sling the rock. So we definitely need these corners to be able to rotate. I think might be a nice balanced offensive attack by Washington today, but I think there's going to be shots downfield, and therefore we need our best guys in.
Yeah, it's a good offense. You're right. They do have a good running back, but they have two top receivers, and they got a quarterback who's third in the league in attempts per game. So the secondary will be busy here today. All right, stick around. We got more of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI coming up from Seattle.
Hi, it's Hannah, and welcome to the HannahCast. Today, Piggy Bank's gonna fuel our episode with questions about Argo rewards. Yep, earn up to $5 in rewards at sign up. Uh-huh, and 5 cents on every gallon. Sounds pretty sensible, if you ask me. Oh, all this savings talk making you hungry? Here you go. Learn how to earn at arcorewards.com.
By entering your phone number, you're agreeing to receive recurring automated informational and marketing SMS, MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub? You get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback, and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC! Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with the tax benefits of a retirement account. That's right, invest in crypto with the tax advantages of an IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. The official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Introducing Celaya Tequila, brought to you by USC Football. Legends Matt and Ryan Khalil celebrate your story with a homegrown spirit, Celaya Tequila. And hey, Trojan fans, celebrate every Trojan win. Enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. Back in Seattle, getting you set for USC versus Washington with Sean Cody, Sue Cravens, and Cody Kessler. I am Jordan Moore, and it's time for this week's Impact Matchup.
The USC Impact Matchup of the Week is brought to you by Invesco QQQ.
Invesco QQQ. Explore with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
Fight on.
Now the Impact Matchup of the Week.
It's time for this week's Impact Matchup, and I've got the quarterback here, Miller Moss, joining the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI. Miller, thanks so much for taking the time, man. You know, your first full season as a starter, you know, as a team, it's been ups and downs, you know, for you at times as well. But now you go into the final month, basically, of the season. What do you think it's going to take for this team to find the consistency that you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, obviously you mentioned those ups and downs. We kind of feel like we're starting to hit an upswing going into this last month, like you said. So I feel like we've started to figure some things out. Obviously, you know, we've been, you know, agonizingly close a few times. And I think just getting over that hump. And I think we've learned a lot about ourselves and what it takes to do that. So hopefully we continue to do that and continue to string wins together.
The goal today is to get a Big Ten road win. You guys have been so close. Obviously, you do have, you know, the great neutral site win to start the season. But you know, from the quarterback spot, what do you think are the keys to finishing here on the road? Yeah,
I mean, I think, you know, road conference football is always really important, and we've yet to kind of tackle that hurdle yet this year, which is unfortunate. But we've got a great opportunity this week, and I think, you know, we're going to be really well prepared. Go to Washington and play against a really quality opponent. So we're excited.
The last 3 weeks, Mekhi Lemon has emerged as the top receiver, at least in yards receiving for 3 straight weeks. But it has been a spread the ball around offense all year. We were talking to Cody Kessler about this week, about this topic. You know, what's sort of your take? I mean, would it be ideal for you to have, you know, 1 or 2 guys that were just sort of like your guys, your go-to guys, or do you prefer this sort of style of offense where it's just, hey, I'm throwing to whoever's open and whoever's out there?
Yeah, I don't think I necessarily have a preference either way. I think this is kind of just the product of having a lot of talented guys in that room. There are so many guys in our receiver room with so many unique skill sets, and that can do different things, you know. So I think, like I said, it's kind of just a byproduct of the talent that we have, and obviously we're really lucky to have so many guys that can affect the game and that can impact the game. Obviously, Lem, since getting back healthy, has really, you know, started to come into his own as a receiver, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. He's a heck of a player and going to continue to do great things for us. But like we've seen, like there's a ton of other talented guys in that room as well.
Lastly, the Huskies have an elite pass defense. I'm sure you're grinding out the film of them. What are you seeing?
Yeah, number one in the country. So can't really ask for more in terms of a good challenge offensively. I think they're really dynamic in the secondary. You know, they disguise pretty well. They're solid up front. You know, have two really solid corners, which usually helps just in your ability to play man coverage and not have to, you know, give safety help in certain situations. So one of their corners I actually played in high school with, so it'll be good to see him. But yeah, just a really solid group, obviously well coached. Another group that I think has done a really good job kind of taking on a system in year one under a new defensive staff. So excited, like I said, excited for the challenge.
Will be a tough test. Will be a fun test, though. Miller Moss has the ball, and the Trojans are ready for it. Thank you so much, Miller Moss. That's this week's Impact Matchup.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cody, as we've said, Mekhi Lemon was the story at receiver last week, but Kyle Ford had a nice game as well. Season-high 4 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. We talked to him on Trojans Live. We've seen players like this where we like the guy. It always looks like he could break out, but he has really had to fight through it during his time at USC and never really got showcased the way certainly he would want to.
Yeah, I mean, I had a tough time this season forgiving him for the mistake he made a year ago where he went to the wrong school for a year.
Unforgivable.
But we welcomed him back, and he went to Twitter and apologized. So we forgave him. But, yeah, I really believe that this offense is more dangerous when Kyle Ford's playing well, when Deuce Robinson's playing well. He just adds that extra element, right? We have the playmakers on the outside. We have Zachariah Branch, Mekhi Lemon, some of those quick, speedy guys. But when you can get those physical, almost tight end type bodies at the receiver position playing well, your offense adds an entirely new element to it, and I think he's one of those guys that can be dominant. We saw him in the red zone there. I mean, he caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage, had a physical stiff arm, and finished in the end zone, so he's great with the ball in his hands. Did have a fumble, got to protect the football, but overall, with his physicality, he adds an entirely different element to this offense.
So another guy in this offense that felt like he was breaking out was Quentin Joyner. Then he's had back-to-back quiet weeks, 7 touches for a total of 30 yards over the last 2 weeks. Is that just sort of the life of the backup running back and the game script hasn't really found him, or do you think that they really need to push to get him more touches?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of doesn't help when you're behind a guy like Woody Marks. You know, that's not a guy that you want to take out the game if you don't have to. So, and he's also not a guy that's going to tap his helmet and ask for a break even when he's dog-tired. That's just this mentality. So, you know, it's a pick your poison type of thing. Our offense doesn't necessarily cater to a two-back backfield either. So QJ's just got to get in where he fits in, and hopefully he can maybe get out of the backfield and provide a quick little dump-off for Miller when the pressure is up in the game, as we seem to struggle with as the game continues. But, yeah, I just think it's because he's behind Woody Marks that we're not seeing as much as him.
All right, down on the sideline, we've got Keely. You're the 5th member of our on-air team. Keely, how is it down there?
It's okay. I will say the wind is picking up a bit, but so far so good. I do think that there is rain forecasted for the second half, so we'll see how that goes.
How's your North Face holding up?
Pretty good. I'm pretty comfy down here.
All right. That's good to hear. What's the Twitter question of the week?
Yeah, our Twitter question of the week kind of goes with everything you've been talking about in this segment. Eric wanted to know, given the fact that Washington has the #1 passing defense in the country, but the number 72nd run defense in the country, do you think Lincoln Riley will focus on the run and attack this defense specifically, or continue with what's working and kind of pass it along to the receivers as well?
I think Lincoln's going to run his offense, right? Obviously, this is the defense that does good in the pass. I mean, if you look at some of the offensive they played, maybe not some of the strongest passing teams out there, so there's a little bit of that, and I think Lincoln kind of runs his offense. I think you might want to lean on Woody a little bit more today than usual, but like I said, I think Lincoln runs his style of offense.
Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you, and we just talked about this is the game to get Quentin Joyner involved, right? We need to get more touches to Quentin. We need to get more touches to Woody, continue to run the football. We have to be balanced, like Sean said, but this team is very good, and it's crazy, too. It's not like they just sit back and play coverage the entire game. They will bring pressure. They will trust their DBs to play man-to-man, and they just limit those explosive plays. They're the best team in the country of holding your quarterback to a low completion percentage. Their opposing quarterbacks only have a 48% completion percentage through the air, so they're playing some good football, but I think, like Sean said, we have to be balanced and play Lincoln's style of offense.
And you made a great point, Sean. We've talked about this we often talk about strength of schedule and unbalanced leagues like we have here when there's 18 teams. I asked Lincoln Riley about it this week, and he basically said, when you have 18 teams in a league, you're going to have all kinds of different styles because, you have basically a fifth of college football in one league, but you can have your schedule line up where you're playing a bunch of teams as we did in the beginning of the season. You go, our pass defense is great. And it's like, well, we haven't faced anyone yet. And then you'd be, our run defense is great. Well, teams stop running the ball. So it is crazy mix of styles in this league, and the Trojans defense will be tested today, both run and pass, and I think they'll be looking to do the same thing against Washington. Okay, after the break, we're going to take a deeper look at the Washington Huskies. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
If your day sounds like
we need the report ASAP,
you deserve Modelo. If you've persevered through, you deserve this rich golden lager with a crisp but refreshing taste. Or if you overcame,
2 more reps, 2 more.
you deserve this ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
Love staying ahead of the game with the latest tech? Meet Helium Mobile, the first phone carrier powered by the people. Experience coverage from the nation's largest 5G network and a network built by people like you. For just $20 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and data. Plus, earn crypto for contributing to the network, which you can use to pay your phone plan. Whether you're a USC Trojans fan, student, employee, or just trying to save a buck on your phone bill, Helium Mobile is for you. Make the switch today at hellohelium.com. Fight on.
USC Football and Children's Hospital Los Angeles continue to support the pediatric needs of our community. For over 120 years, CHLA has been at the forefront of providing exceptional medical care for children across California. Recognized by U.S. News and World Report as the #1 children's hospital in California, CHLA has consistently ranked among the top national hospitals and has been on the honor roll of best children's hospitals since its inception. Whether it's routine care or life-saving treatment, families trust CHLA for its world-class pediatric care. To learn more, visit chla.org today.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Trojan fans, you can listen to USC football and all the biggest college football and basketball games on the TuneIn app, free internet radio. And don't wait until game time to plan for retirement. Open your free iTrust Capital account today and get your crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Back live in Seattle, getting you set for USC versus Washington on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Here is this week's Scouting Report.
It's time for the Scouting Report, brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
Now we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
Today's opposing team is the Washington Huskies, and maybe the first opposing team that we kind of know a little bit about coming into this, although they have changed over the program maybe more than anyone in the country. They were the runners-up in the national title game last year, just a magical season up here on Mountain Lake. But they lose their head coach to Alabama. They lose their quarterback to the draft, and every single other player basically left, so it's a whole new team. Honestly, the better comp is Arizona because they bring in Jedd Fisch. He brought some guys with him, including the running back. But I've always kind of liked Jedd Fisch, Sean. He's got a good sense of humor. I appreciate that. And he did a nice job at Arizona. He was pretty good as an OC along the way. But he sort of got his chance to be a head coach late in his career and seems to be pretty good at it.
Yeah, I think he would have wished he could have brought T-Mac and Fafita with him. It might have been a full complete.
I think people were surprised he didn't or couldn't.
Yeah, that seemed like that was going to be in the works there, and it obviously didn't work out there. And they ended up getting Will Rogers from Mississippi State, who played with Woody Marks down there. So yeah, Jedd Fisch is a good coach. He's been doing it for a long time, an NFL level coach, a college coach. So a respectable coach. He knows how to get a program turned around here, and I'm sure he'll get this thing rolling in the right direction soon.
Cody, Will Rogers has played a lot of football. He's sort of your classic transfer portal quarterback. Comes over, wanted to, I guess, leave the air raid and play in more of a pro-style system in his final year.
Yeah, he's a very experienced quarterback. Played a ton of football in his college career. 14,337 yards, 107 touchdowns, and 32 interceptions in his career. This year he has a 72% completion percentage, over 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. 2 of those interceptions were a week ago. He's coming off of his worst performance against Indiana. But like you said, he's a very experienced quarterback. He is at his best, though, when he can go through progression. He can sit in the pocket. He can get comfortable. Very good in play action. They lean on Jonah Coleman Coleman a lot in the run game. When those two are working well and the offensive line's playing well, they are very dangerous. But, yeah, Will Rogers, he's not a dual threat. They'll bring in Damon Williams Jr., their backup quarterback, kind of like they did with Prebula a couple weeks ago against Penn State. They'll do some of that wildcat looks. But, yeah, Will Rogers is a very, very experienced quarterback, but we have to get pressure on him today and force him to be uncomfortable.
Sue, are you more worried about Jonah Coleman and their running game, or are you more worried about covering these receivers?
Like I said earlier, they're just a balanced offense. And to Cody's point, the play action works so well for Rodgers because they can run the football and because they're so balanced. With Coleman, he has almost 1,000 yards already. He got three more games left in the season. You know, this is a team that can hit you on all cylinders. So we have to make sure that we keep Washington in second and long to knock off a little bit of that balance. Because if they're getting 3 or 4 yards of carry like we are accustomed to seeing it from this USC defense from a run-heavy offense, then that's when Rodgers is going to be at his best. So I'm curious to see the momentum and tempo of the offense in the first quarter and how our defense responds to it, because then that'll lay the map for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a wild year for this offense. You look up at the numbers, total yards, they're going over 435 yards a game, but only scoring it at 23.3 points a game. So it's, you know, they haven't done a really good job. Brendan Carroll is obviously the offense coordinator, and he hasn't, you know, they haven't really figured out the recipe in red zone. If you ask this team to drive those long, they've been good kind of between the 20s, but when they get down in that red zone, it's a little backed up there and haven't been able to put those points on the board.
And to your point,
sorry, go ahead.
No, to your point real quick, Joe, I think it's important what you said too, talking about the receivers. Denzel Boston, 6'4", 210, Giles Jackson. Jonah Coleman's important, yes, but if we don't stop them, I'm glad you brought that up, it is going to be a long day. Denzel Boston has 9 touchdowns right now on the year, which is first in the Big Ten, and Giles Jackson is that explosive, dangerous playmaker through the air, so we have to be ready for them today.
I was just going to say Jonah Coleman, 5'9", 230.
Ooh, tank.
Hey, tank. It's a Kyle Monungai game again. It's very similar to last week.
Yeah.
Same thing as last week.
Cody, number one pass defense in the nation. You were looking at the film and saw what?
Yeah, they're very good. And it's crazy, too, because they're fourth in the country in limiting explosive plays as well, right? They don't give up a lot of explosive plays, but they play very aggressive. And I got to spend time with Steve Belichick when I was with New England in 2019. Obviously, Tom Brady was a starter. Me and Jared Stidham. Well, I watched the Washington film, and I go back and remember my days as a scout player because obviously Tom's a starter, so you spend a lot of time with the defense when you're the scout quarterback. But, yeah, they're very aggressive. It's not like I said earlier. It's not like they sit back in coverage the entire time and force you to go length of the field. They'll play aggressive, play man-to-man, give some, there's some opportunities to make these big plays, but they're not afraid to show you some looks on third down, get after the quarterback, and trust their guys to play man-to-man. We just have to hit them when we have the opportunity. We have to protect well up front as well to give those shots to Miller.
This is the all-time Nepo baby staff here, though. We got Bill Belichick's son at DC and Pete Carroll's son at OC. But I think Jed Fish is calling the plays on offense. Sue, is there anyone up front on defense that you worry about? You think the Trojans have opportunities to run the football today?
Yeah, we'll have opportunities to run the football. We've succeeded running the football all year long, so I don't know why we wouldn't try to do it today. But Alfonso Tuputala, he's a very physical player, uses his hands, likes to get his nose into a lot of the battles up front. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be aggressive today, because if he decides to shoot gaps, then our play action and leaks to Lake McCree might work for us, and he might have a 100-yard day today.
Oh? Interesting. That would make for a good pick then for best in game. I don't know.
I
guess we'll just have to
admitting that.
I guess we'll have to see if anyone picked him. Wow, I like that scouting report. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at this final month of the season for the Trojans. We've hit November already. Can you believe it? So let's see what the Trojans have to gain. Go through their November checklist coming up in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Hey, Trojan fans. Celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. It's our way of saying thanks. One free donut per customer with digital coupon available the day after each Trojan victory while supplies last. Ralph's, fresh for everyone and proud partner of USC Athletics. Fight on.
In the heat of an intense play, there's nothing like a refreshing beverage to cool you down. With 15% alcohol by volume and a colorful collection of fun flavors, Buzzballs are the perfect ready-to-drink cocktail for every moment of the game. Try the rich Choco Chiller, Zesty Lime Rita, Spicy Chili Mango, or discover your new favorite flavor. Make every moment matter and buy Buzzballs today. Buzzballs is a proud partner of USC Athletics. You must be 21 years or older. Please enjoy Buzzballs responsibly. Buzzballs, Carrollton, Texas.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
On a chilly late afternoon in the PNW, we are live in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Let's get to this week's Cardinal and Gold Report.
It's time for the Cardinal and Gold Report.
The Cardinal and Gold Report.
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
All right, our Cardinal and Gold Report is I put together a little November checklist. I guess it's really a late season checklist because maybe it'll go into some bowl situations. But, you sit here at 4-4, and it's not where you want to be, Sean. I mean, when you're USC football, it's not where you want to be. So it's sort of like what can be accomplished the rest of the way, and it starts with winning a road game. The Trojans are 0-3 on the road this season. They have been road favorites in all 3 of those games. They are road favorites here again today, but the average margin of loss less than 4 points. That has been the defining factor of this season is just these close road losses.
Yeah, and you look at the last one against Maryland, the Trojans got out a lead there, and then they were able to come back and beat them there. But I think you really got to take the crowd out in these kind of situations. You got to make them. They get these places dead. They let Michigan hang around. They let Minnesota was hanging around the game. So the crowds never really got out of the game, and they were always in the game. And when the crowds are in the game, I think it really affects our O-line. This year we've seen a bunch of false starts. We've seen missed assignments. You see guys not jumping off on the snap count. So those are kind of big things. If you don't leave, if you let the crowd stay in the game, to me, you just your whole offense has been sluggish this year just because the effect that's having on your offensive line.
So you really don't want to go into the offseason with this hanging over your head that you can't win Big Ten road games, because there was already, the naysayers out there saying that there was going to be issues playing in this league, and got to knock some of these out. And I guess the only 2 road games left are former Pac-12 road games. But if you can get those, I think you feel a lot better about your ability to conquer that.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely feel a lot better. This is an old school classic Pac-10 matchup. West Coast is going to matter a lot more to these West Coast guys, but we've already shown the nation we struggle playing on the East Coast, including my teams as well. We don't really fare well on the East Coast, so we got to do our best to try to win as many games to finish the season, especially these road games, to show teams that this conference is not too big for us. The stage isn't too big. There's this whole rumor that USC isn't ready to play in this physical conference. We have to put that to bed, and then the best way to do it is by winning on the road, and it starts today, especially at a Washington atmosphere. Again, I've never played in it, but from what I hear, is one of the toughest in the country.
And they're 4-0, Cody, in this stadium this season. So you can look at it and go, Washington's just a 4-4 team, but they're a 4-0 home team. And that is going to make it difficult and would make it worthwhile if you can get it done.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous football team. And you really feel that energy. Like Sue said, we haven't played there, but you can feel that home energy, right? When you get in the momentum, when you get things going your way. We felt that against Wisconsin, right? We had a sloppy first half, and then the second half things picked up. When the crowd gets back into it, you get a lot more, momentum on the offense side of the football. But yeah, a big thing, and what Sean said I think is most important today is when you go on the road, you got to be able to play defense and run the football, but most importantly, get the crowd out of it. And the way you do that is don't have pre-snap penalties. If you go back to the Michigan game, we had multiple times where we had miscommunication, pre-snap penalties, some center quarterback exchange issues, getting the snap count right. So we've got to fix that today and take the crowd out of this game.
The other checklist goal I have is become bowl eligible. The Trojans sit at 4-4, so they need at least 2 more wins to do that. It's kind of an interesting schedule the rest of the way. It's very winnable games, but also nothing that screams lock to me when you look at it. It's at UW, home Nebraska, at UCLA, home Notre Dame. But you really would be disappointed not to find your way to at least 6-6.
Yeah, I think if you look at those 4 games, obviously here at Washington, when you haven't gotten a road game, this is going to be a challenge today. Trojans got to find a way to win this, and then Notre Dame's always a big one. So if you're circling for 2 more wins, at Nebraska and at UCLA game, you're thinking those are probably the 2 wins. But I think it starts today, and you have a big bye week coming up. You can really sell your guys on leaving it out there because you don't want to lose going into a bye week. That makes 2 miserable weeks there. So you got to find a way to get this game here and find that first road win.
Sue, do guys think about being bowl eligible? Does that mean anything to them? Are they thinking about it that way?
I mean, I come from the non-NIL era, so bowl eligible meant bowl gift and bowl check, so I definitely thought about it, but I hope so. It's just a badge of pride. You don't want to be a team that's home for the holidays. It's like Cancun on 3. You don't want to be one of those guys. You want to be actually playing in December, playing during the holidays, because that at least means you had a successful season. You had a winning season, or you were at least 500. To be home in a USC uniform, not on sanctions because you just weren't good enough, is not the message you want to send to future recruits.
And then Cody, the last one on my checklist was going to the offseason with momentum. And, last year, the end of the regular season went very poorly, but because they had great bowl prep and had a fun bowl game, it did feel like they sort of salvaged it and went in with momentum. What do you think is the key? How do they lay it out so that they do feel like this program is ready to continue going forward next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, but in my opinion, you have to win every single game, right? And I know we have a tough challenge against Notre Dame, some good football teams coming up. It starts today, but you have to win every single game because throughout this season, we've talked about, right? There's been a lot of highs and lows. Go back to the LSU game, right? We found a way to get the job done. Multiple games this year, we lose in the last second. We've had the lead in the fourth quarter in every single game, and we've talked about over and over again being 1 or 2 plays away, right? But now you have 8 games, you have 4 left. You have to show that you can make those 1 or 2 plays. You have to build this momentum, get these younger guys, get the core group of guys that, I know in the offseason guys are going to transfer, NIL, all those things happen, but the guys that are going to be here, they need to continue to learn how to win these close games. Now, I hope we run away with some of them, but the best way to do that and build momentum is not worry about the bowl game, not worry about next year, but win these next 4 games, go 1-0 every week, and really put a good foundation for this football team for 2025.
Feels like one of those close games is about to happen in front of us tonight. Let's see if the Trojans can make that play this time and come out of Seattle with a victory. We're getting closer to kick. We'll take a look at the X's and O's when we come back. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
In the game of savings, it's all about making the right moves. Whether you're just kicking off your financial journey or already making big plays, USC Credit Union is here to help you come out on top. With high rates across savings and checking accounts, CDs, money markets, and IRAs, your money will grow faster and stronger. Plus, with our wealth management services, you'll have an expert coach guiding you at every stage of your investment journey. Make your money move up. Visit usccreditunion.org to get started. Federally insured by the NCUA.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
USC Trojan fans, SmartStop Self-Storage is ready for game day. SmartStop Self-Storage is committed to making the self-storage experience easy and hassle-free for all Trojan fans. Whether you're storing your Trojans tailgate gear, need temporary storage while moving to a new home, or need a storage solution for your business, we're here for you with convenient locations throughout Southern California. SmartStop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. Fight on. Fight on.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love, with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Back in Seattle, we are just under an hour until kickoff between USC and Washington. As Sue said, an old school Pac-10 kind of game here. between these new Big Ten foes with Sean Cody, Sue Cravens, and Cody Kessler. I am Jordan Moore, and let's break it down, guys. Sean, when USC has the football, what are you looking at?
I want to see some clean football on offense today, Jordan. I think they got to do a good job of taking care of the ball. Washington hasn't created a ton of turnovers this year, only 7 on the year from defensive risks. That's like 108th in the country, so not creating a bunch of those. They don't have a bunch of TFLs, not a bunch of sacks, so not really an explosive defense. So I want to see some clean football out there, take care of the ball, and end those drives in touchdowns.
Havoc. They call that havoc stats now. Washington doesn't cause a lot of havoc out there. What are you looking for, Sua?
I want us to run the ball, not because I think we should run the ball and try to, create this new brand of offense, but because, like Cody said earlier, this is an aggressive defense. Let's try to lull them to sleep. Just get 8 and 9 in the box, to let them think that this is what we want to do. That way we can take shots. I think that's the best way to approach this defense. They are a good defense when it comes to pass, but they do give up points because they're so aggressive. So let's try to run the football so that play action fake is aggressive or effective.
Cody?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching Miller Moss in this passing attack, right? Washington has the number 1 pass defense in all of college football, like we've talked about a bunch of times on this show. They do a great job of limiting those explosive plays, especially through the air. Now, we do have to establish a run, like Sua said, but we can't be one-dimensional. We have to be able to throw it all over the field, and that starts up front with our pass protection as well.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Sua, too. I had lean on the run game and get a second back going, but to go along with that, stay out of 3rd and long. 3rd and long in this building can be a real problem. I know that they don't necessarily have some of the elite pass rushers that they've had in the past, but with your young offensive line, 3rd and long in this building can lead to strip sacks, and that's how these things get away on the road. So if they can use the run game, then they'll stay in favorable down and distances, which will allow them to throw the football. 2nd and short, 3rd and short, those are great down and distances to throw the football and maybe open up some holes in this elite pass defense. When Washington has the football, Sean, what are we talking about?
You got to make them earn it on offense for Washington. No big plays. Can't give them the big play and set up those easy scores, because like we said, this offense can move the ball. They can get up and down the court, but they haven't been really good in the red zone. So if you can limit them, and what the Trojans have done well all year is kind of that bend but don't break. If they can play that style brand of defense today, I think that'll be successful, because this offense can move the ball, like we said, but just hasn't been able to find a lot of touchdowns at the end of them.
Sua?
We got to keep them in 2nd and long. I know everybody is, they harp on 3rd down and got to get off the field. Got to make sure 3rd down is less than 35%. But if we can keep Washington in 2nd and long, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8, not give up 4 yards on 1st down, that makes this balanced offense off balance. It makes them have to throw the ball, and they are pretty predictable. Once we know that they're throwing the ball, we know there are 2 receivers that they want to get the ball to, and we know that we can keep 2 high safeties if they're in 2nd and long. So 3rd down is important, but we have to win 1st down.
Cody?
Yeah, I think our defensive line has to play great today, right? We have to be able to get penetration. We have to play on their side of the line of scrimmage. We have to be physical. I know it's the Pac-12 former opponent, but it's Big Ten style football. We've got to control the trenches. We can't let Jonah Coleman get going like he did a year ago against us when he was at Arizona. And then the other side of that, like I talked about earlier, got to get pressure on Will Rogers. He's at his best when he can sit in the pocket, be comfortable, and go through progression.
Yeah, I had pressure on Will Rogers as well, and we saw the USC pass rush perk up a little bit last week against Rutgers. Would love to see that continued development, and I did notice that Will Rogers is prone to give up strip sacks. He's had some fumbles this season.
Yep.
This is pretty much a pocket quarterback, so somebody that you can get back there and get after. They seem few and far between these days, but this is an opportunity for these guys to take the next step in their development. Sam Green, Devin Tompkins, Cam Fountain. We talked about these guys, and we talk about things that will give you momentum and a good feeling going into the offseason. Those guys having a big month would give me a lot of hope. This offensive line coming out today and handling the crowd noise and not giving up pressure, these young tackles, that would give me a lot of hope too. So, sometimes it's not just what the team does, it's ultimately players and how you feel about your personnel going into the future. So chance for some of those guys to show out here today. Up next, we're going to hear from the head coach, Lincoln Riley. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC! Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with the tax benefits of a retirement account. That's right, invest in crypto with the tax advantages of an IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit iTrustCapital.com/USC to start investing today. The official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Hey, Trojan fans, celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. It's our way of saying thanks. One free donut per customer with digital coupon, available the day after each Trojan victory while supplies last. Ralph's, fresh for everyone, and proud partner of USC Athletics. Fight on.
At Audi, what drives you matters. But what you're driving towards matters more. The new fully electric Audi Q8 e-tron. How we get there matters.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your Southern California Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit SoCalAudiDealers.com for more information.
Introducing Stone Fight On Pale Ale with a balanced blend of hops and a deep golden color as vibrant as the Southern California sunshine. Stone Fight On Pale Ale is brewed to be the perfect companion for the beach, the tailgate, or cheering on the Trojans. Stone Fight On Pale Ale is best enjoyed by holding a can in one hand and raising a V for victory with the other. Find Stone Fight On Pale Ale near you at find.stonebrewing.com. That's find.stonebrewing.com. Stone Brewing is a proud partner of USC Athletics.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Back live in Seattle, the top of Husky Stadium, looking down on Alaska Airlines Field as USC and Washington are continuing their warm-ups, getting set for another battle here this evening. Before we get back to the guys, let's hear from Lincoln Riley. This is your Prescription to Win Coaches interview with Keely Orr.
This is your Prescription to Win, brought to you by USC Pharmacy.
Proud partner of USC Athletics.
USC Pharmacy is operated by the USC Man School.
Learn more at pharmacies.usc.edu.
I'm Keely Orr here with head coach Lincoln Riley. Coach, Friday's win felt like a display of the defensive depth that's developing in your program. What did you make of the Trojans who got their number called?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get in a situation like that, a short week, you're playing a little bit shorthanded, not all your personnel, you're really excited to see how the guys respond. We had a lot of guys in different positions, a lot of guys playing more reps than they've ever played. And then, of course, ended up being like a 90-play defensive game. So we got to see a lot. And I was really proud of how we did a great job in the red zone and in scoring situations, limiting the touchdowns. I mean, you go give up 20 points on any given weekend in college football, you like your chances of winning. And so I thought the guys I thought they battled. I thought we were resilient. I thought we were really physical. I thought we tackled well. And we did a good job against their back, and that was one of the biggest things going into that game. He's such a good player, and that was a real emphasis point. I thought the guys handled it well.
When it comes to this Washington matchup, it feels like the 4-4 record doesn't tell the full story. What's your scouting report on their team as a whole?
Yeah, it's a good team, and they've played really well at home. They've got a very experienced quarterback. That's a transfer. The running back came with them from Arizona. It's a really, really good player. Definitely a guy they try to feature in their offense. They've always done a really nice job using the tight ends as well. Defensively, they've played really well. I mean, they're one of the top-ranked units in the country in several pretty big statistical categories. Number one passing defense in the country. So they've done a nice job. They've brought in some impact transfers. Defensively, they had a handful of guys that returned from last year's group that are really good players. So no, it's a really good football team that I think is very well rounded.
You're also going against a Carroll and a Belichick. What do you make of the knowledge on this staff?
Yeah, that's it's kind of unique. We were joking about that in there today. Yeah, the lineage on that staff is about as good as it gets. So yeah, kind of weird too, because those are two of my great friends and people I respect the most in coaching. So and obviously both their sons are carving their their own path and making a big impact on this program. So, it'll be some interesting matchups on the field.
You mentioned how Washington is great at home. What has this team learned through road games, and how do they get a win on Saturday?
Well, I think our battle-tested nature, we need that to show up. We've been in big moments on the road. We've put ourselves in position to win games on the road. I think we've taken some nice steps here the last few weeks, and there's going to be some key plays that are going to come up on Saturday that we're going to need to make, and we got to go put ourselves in the position to make those plays, and then we've got to step through and go do it. And when you play good teams on the road, it's not going to be handed to you. You got to go get it. And so I know our guys are excited to do it, confident, and ready to go play.
All right, Coach, thanks for having. Good luck.
Thank you.
Coach, let's stay with Keely. Time for her best bites.
Now it's time for Keely's Best Bite.
Keely's Best Bite.
Let's get the sideline scoop and insights brought to you by Postmates. Great restaurant selection and no delivery fee or service fee on eligible orders.
Bite on.
Keely, for the first road trip, you earned Best Bites. You went out, you tried a new place last night. I was in my room eating Uncrustables, trying to get healthy. Sean was, entertaining donors. I think for the first time on the road, you've earned Best Bites this year. Congratulations.
Why, thank you. I think you and I are too powerful together, Jordan. One of us has to go out to eat, and one of us has to stay in the room. That's what I think.
Yeah, it was a rough go here, but there's some great food options here in Seattle. How about some options for the Trojans on the field? It does, looking out there, seem like we're going to get some people back today.
It does. As far as the availability report, it's similar to what we had last week against Rutgers, but with better updates. Jalen Smith is listed as questionable, but he is warming up currently. I will say, though, both Kamari Ramsey and Jacoby Covington have been listed as questionable, but I have not seen them yet. And the secondary is fully warming up in full pads right now, so that leads me to believe that they will not be available unless it's a late entrance for them. Greedy Vance Jr. listed as questionable, but he is warming up. And then Nate Clifton, who left the game in a boot against Rutgers, is warming up in cleats. He looks pretty good. I watched him do some individual reps. He seems like he's turning pretty well on that ankle. So far, so good for USC. More people that look like they will return than stay on the sideline today.
So it looks like Jalen Smith and Greedy Vance are in, Nate Clifton in, and maybe not Jacoby Covington and Kamari Ramsey is the injury update. Otherwise, what are you looking for today, Keely?
Well, going back to that report, I feel like adding Jalen Smith back is huge for the Trojans, not only because you get that cornerback, but if you are in a stretch where you need some versatility, Jalen is a guy who played all 5 positions. They were raving about him in fall camp, and the fact that, they can move him anywhere. And so last week against Rutgers, I thought USC's defense did a good job kind of holding up against the injuries that they had. But this Washington offense is different than Rutgers. It's not going to go through Kyle Monangai like it did on Friday. So I will be looking at to see how do the new faces in the secondary hold up in that sense.
Yeah, and I think it's, Greedy Vance is a player maybe we haven't talked a ton about this year, but I think it's important in this game to have him back. This is a team in Washington that'll spread you out. I think Trojans will be in, plenty of nickel coverage today and a chance for Greedy, whose coverage skills have been excellent this season. So thank you to Keely. We just have one more segment to go. Let's come on back and find out who are this week's Best in the Game picks. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Now, 2 Pigeons and Coach Prime bemoaning the fact you can stream DirecTV satellite-free.
These humans get the biggest college football games on DirecTV, and we don't even get a satellite dish.
Enough squawking.
It's Coach Prime.
Bring it in. Sure, they can get all that college football without a dish, but you still got your passion, your drive, your resolve, your
incredible career as a football icon?
No, that's me.
Stream the biggest college football games. No satellite dish. Visit DirecTV.com.
You sit in traffic now, but later, there's an ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. You've earned this rich golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. Because you know, all your patience is paid out in gold. You remain calm through honks, bumper to bumper, and people yelling. Come on, move! You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, I'm getting lunch delivered. What's everyone want?
Well, I'm gluten-free.
Uh-huh.
Vegetarian for me, please. Veggie guy.
Vegetarian? Got it.
I'm allergic to nuts.
Nuts.
Oh, hey, I'm fee-free.
Sorry, fee-free?
Yeah, I don't put fees into my body. My body is a temple.
Okay, but how do I order delivery without fees?
Postmates. No delivery or service fee on orders over $50.
Order from the best restaurants in LA, totally fee-free on eligible orders over $50. Only on Postmates. Offer terms and exclusions apply. See app for details.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN. Fight on.
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI with Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Cody Kessler. I am Jordan Moore. Our pleasure, as always, to get you set for a little USC football. A little evening affair between the Trojans and the Huskies right on the lake. Some sailgating going on to our right. Sean, you ever sailgated before?
No. I feel like the second time you asked me about boating this week.
I just,
what's going on here?
I feel like you do well on a boat, man. You just crack a beer open, just
Captain Cody, ready for my bon voyage.
I think you have it in you. But now that you see it, I just want you to visualize it. Now that you're here, it's exciting. It's a unique feature here at Washington. All right, guys, let's get to this week's Old Dominion Best in the Game picks.
The best in the game
is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line,
official freight carrier of USC Athletics,
helping the world keep promises.
Guys, this can't be right. I'm looking at the standings,
and
it says Jordan Moore 2, Sua Cravens 1, Sean Cody 1, Cody Kessler 0, Keely yours 0. Is that right? Is that what your board says too, Sean?
Take the wins you can get, Yankee boy.
Fair enough.
Keely from the top rope.
Keely, let's start with you, Keely, since your mic is clearly hot.
My pick of the game was Mekhi Lemon. After 200-plus all-purpose yards, I had to go with him for today.
A best in the game tradition to pick the guy after he has the game to do it again.
Of course.
Always works. Cody?
I got Jacoby Lane, and guys, I still have not won in over 2.5 years, so I brought out the secret weapon this week. I let my wife pick for me, so I'm trying something new, and with that being said, if I do end up winning this week...
So she wins? She wins.
If I win, she will be replacing me on the show moving forward for the last couple of weeks, but that's where I'm at right now in this game.
Sua?
I'm going Deuce. Aggressive defense means one-on-one matchups. He's 6'5" and a half, I believe. And there should be a lot of one-on-one down the field. So I like Deuce for a huge game today.
Sean?
Per usual, I let all you guys pick first, and I saved my pick because I want you guys to have the most advantage that you can have. And you guys talked about this guy the whole show as our greatest player on the team, and you gave me Woody Marks.
They've all picked him.
It's going to be a clear layup for the big dog this week as Woody Marks leads the Trojans.
Sua picked him. Yeah, they've all picked. Everyone's picked him.
I just want to thank my team.
You saved your Woody Marks card, and it's paid off. I'm worried about this, Sean. I'm worried that we're going to be tied after this. So
play the long game, guys. This is the long game.
My pick is Lake McCree. Sua already told me it was a genius pick,
I don't
need him to back me up. But it feels like the kind of game, maybe execute in the red zone, get it to your tight end, couple touchdowns. Lake McCree getting healthier. I don't know, big day. He was the top target on this team until he got hurt. Now healthy and ready to go. I think it's time. Another Lake McCree day. Work the tight end show.
If you go 3-1 on us,
ball game.
That is ball game. It's over with.
Yeah, three wins usually gets it done.
We all picked offensive guys today. Does that mean we think that the offense is going to determine victory today, or are we just
pretty close to picking a pass rusher? But I still had to use that Woody Marks, and I thought today was Woody Marks. But I was really close to Devin Tompkins, maybe a Cam Fountain, one of those young pass rushers. But I'd still love to see them have a day today.
Well, I think we would love to see them have a day-to-day, but I think it tells you a little bit about where this defense is at, where we don't necessarily even know who's going to be out there, who's going to lead the way. Those linebackers certainly will. Mason Cobb and Easton Mascarenas-Arnold around them. I'm not sure we're entirely sure what we're going to see, but we're ready to see it. It's time for the call. This was the Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Coming up now, USC versus Washington on the ESPN LA USC Trojans Media Network.
You've been listening to the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Brought to you by
YETI. We make great gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder.
Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
And by SmartStop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store.
Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today.
Only minutes until kickoff in the Pacific Northwest. Our USC Trojans battling the Washington Huskies. Come on, Trojans, fight on!
The 79-yard kickoff return for Mekhi Lemon.